Okay, I got another update for you guys. This is going to be kind of a long one as updates go. I just want to show you what I've been doing on the electrical. I am in the middle of rewiring the car front to back. So I want to show you what I've been doing so far back here. I'm real happy with how it's coming out. So I just like to show you guys what I've been doing. So first thing I'll start with is this is a Taylor aluminum battery box. And when you get them, they send you wing nuts to hold the lid down. And I'm not really a fan of those because sometimes they can be hard to loosen up. So what I did is I went to the hardware store and I bought a set of knobs. These are what you would have on your lawnmower, on like the sides of the lawnmower. So you can like flip the handle down if you're gonna store it. So I just went to the hardware store, got a couple of these, and it makes getting the lid for the box off a lot easier. So like I said, I'm just kind of hated those wing nuts. So these are just a couple of bucks, and like I said, I mean, actually you find an old lawnmower on the side of the road, you might be able to scavenge a couple for free. So okay, I'm outside. I don't live too far from the airport, so I'm getting a plane going by. Sorry about the noise. There's something else I want to show you inside the battery box. I'm going to move the camera over and I'll show you something else. Okay, something I want to show you real quick. I found these really cool battery cable clamps on the internet one day. I was nosing around, I think on Amazon, and I found these, and I believe they're referred to as a military style clamp or a military clamp. And how they work is they attach to the battery post like a normal battery cable goes on, but then what you do with your battery cable is you cut the end off and you put one of these on there, crimp it or solder it, however you do it. And then this fits over the bolt like that, and the battery cable attaches right here. And what that allows you to do, if at some point is you have to take any of this apart, is you just unbolt the cables from the end here. The clamp stays in place. As I'm sure you guys know, sometimes those clamps can get on there really tight, and you have to take a pair of channel locks and kind of twist them, and that could put wear and tear on the battery. So that eliminates that problem, so you don't potentially screw up a perfectly good battery by this twisting motion on the battery post. So I just want to show you those to you guys. In the short time I've had them on the car, they've already been really handy, and they weren't a lot of money at all. And like I said, I think I found them on Amazon, and they refer to them as a military battery clamp or a military style cable clamp, something like that. So but yeah, like I said, kind of a really neat idea, very simple, but it works awesome. So okay, you guys, so what I got going back here is with having the battery in the back of the car, I've got a master kill switch mounted to the back of the car, per the NHRA rule book. And I have what we're looking at here. Let me pick up the camera here and kind of pan out a little bit to show you guys what we're looking at. So what this is back here is this is all the framework and the mounting for my weight box, and then my battery box, and then you can see this all just bolts through the floor, comes out the bottom of the frame rail, and that's how that's attached to the car. So what I did is I mounted my starter solenoid to all of this framework that I built. So here's the main power coming off the battery going to the starter solenoid, and then here's the cable here that runs up to the starter. So I have the solenoid mounted on here. I have this mega fuse mounted on here, because what I need to do is supply 12 volts back to the master cutoff switch, which you can't see it, but it's mounted on the back of the car. So that's what all this is. This is what you're looking at here. I have a heavy gauge old battery cable that I had laying around, and that is what comes off of this and runs up to the master kill and provides power to the rest of the car at the master kill. So, and then this is my ground cable, and it's just bolted to all this also, and that's what grounds the battery to the car. Another thing I did is I mounted a voltmeter back here because I want a voltmeter in the rear of the car, and I put a momentary on and off button on here so I can just check my battery voltage just by hitting that button, and it tells me what my battery voltage is. So I don't have to go in and turn the car on or anything like that. I just open the hatch, hit the button, and I know I can see what my voltage is and if I need to hook up my battery charger or not. So, but that's what I got going on there. That's what all this stuff is, and I will show you guys my master cutoff, how I have that mounted, and some of the wiring that I've started to do to supply power to my MSD box. All right, so what we're looking at here is the master cutoff switch, and I just have it mounted to the tail panel. I got this bracket from somewhere. It's for the Fox Body Mustangs. I can't remember exactly where I got it. I'll try and figure it out and post the info in the video. But what it does is this is a kind of like an L-shaped bracket. The switch bolts through it, and then this bracket attaches to the mounting studs for the taillight. So it's really a nifty setup. It's very clean and basic. But anyways, so this is this cable here. It's kind of dark, so you might not be able to see it that well, but this is the cable that supplies power coming into the master kill, and this is the power coming out of the master kill. And how I have it run is into here. This is a heavy duty fuse setup that I have. I may have gotten it from Painless Performance. I'm not 100% sure, but it just has a little protective cover that slips over it. I've got like a 30 amp fuse in there now. I'll see once I get the car going if I need to change that to a different amperage fuse, but that's what I have in there now just for this. So, and then you can see a little bit of the wiring right here. So this is 12 volts coming into this fuse, and then this is the wire coming out the other side, and this runs to the front of the car. And you can kind of see, I'll kind of tilt this up here, how I have it run. Let me move this around a little bit. You can see it kind of goes up along the wheel housing and runs up towards the front of the car. You can see my MSD box in the background there, and I'll show you how I have that mounted and wired up. Okay guys, so what we're looking at here, this is where my MSD box is mounted, and how I have it mounted is there's two pieces, one here and one here, of 1-inch angle iron, and I have it welded to the back side of the main hoop. The reason I mounted it here is I wanted it out of the way but easily accessible. I originally had it mounted underneath the passenger seat, and it was okay, but when I needed to make adjustments on it, it could be a little bit of a hassle sometimes. So I went ahead and came up with this idea, and it kind of keeps everything bundled together. So for a little better installation instead of wires going in every direction. And then what I did is I made this little bracket here, this plate, attached it to the mount, and then what we have sitting on top of here is the RPM activated switch and the module selector, and this all controls my shift light. So I originally had this stuff mounted on the dash, and I just kind of wanted to move away from that. So how I have power coming to the MSD is the wiring that I showed you earlier. I have that running along the wheel housing here, and what I did is I made a bracket and I welded it to this, and then I took these two power lugs and attached them, to the bracket. So the master cutoff is what's supplying 12 volts to the MSD for the 12 volts hot, or full-time hot, meaning not switched but full-time hot. And then the ground is over here. So So if there's any accessories on the car that I need a 12-volt full-time hot non-switched power, I can run the wiring back here, and I can mount it here. So this just makes for a nice, you know, kind of clean, simple installation. It's out of the way, but I can get to it real easy. And then, like I said, if should something happen that I do get in a crash and the racetrack needs to power the car down, when they hit the master kill in the back, it will kill power to the MSD ignition, and that will shut the car off. So I'll post some pictures up in the video to give you a little better idea what this looks like, because I can't really get a very good camera angle on it. So I'll post some pictures, and you can it'll give you a really good idea of exactly what I did back here. And like I said, I'm real happy with how it turned out, and I think it's going to work really well.